Powerful Congress General Secretary Digvijay Singh dropped a bombshell a day after his party's spectacular dropping in the semi-final of 2013. Speaking to Headlines Today, Digvijay Singh said that the Congress will project a new face to be Prime Minister for the 2014 elections before polling takes place. Here is Digvijay Singh speaking exclusively to Headlines Today. They were dismissed by the Congress as the tyranny of the unelected and the unelectable. But in the end, it was the Congress leaders who were rendered unelectable, and it's the Aadmi who's having the last laugh. Joining us on Hot Pursuit today, Senior Congress Leader Digvijay Singh, and with me, National Affairs Editor Arvind. Mr. Singh, what do you make of the verdict that's been given? We can argue at length whether this is a Modi wave or not, but this is a tsunami of anger that's erupted in the face of the Congress party.
I don't know whether you recollect, Rahul, that I was the first man to suggest that they should come into political arena. And I was again the first person who welcomed Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's entry into the democratic polity of this country. And I'm very happy to say that a one-year-old party has suddenly caught the media attention and has been able to convince...
It's not just
one second. And has been able to convince the electorate of Delhi to give them 3 times more seats than Congress party.
What do you think went so horribly wrong for the Congress?
No, what I'm trying to say is that it strengthens the faith of the people in the democracy in India. That is the biggest
that
achievement.
It does, but what does this mean for the Congress party? Why did you lose so?
I'm coming to that. See, your question is something which I have to answer. So allow me to do that. So this, I feel, is the biggest strength of the Indian democracy, which has been proved now. I would now appeal to all those people who hate politics and hate politicians and yet have some issue. They should also come in the mainstream of electoral politics and join a political party of their own ideology which they choose. As far as Congress is concerned, it's definitely a lesson to us. And I recollect Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his first press conference in Lucknow about 5-6 years back had said that the reason why Congress is not gaining ground in Uttar Pradesh is because of the lack of connect of our political cadre, Congress party, with the people, number one. Number two, non-transparent holding of organization elections in the party.
But who's to blame for this? Every time you lose, you say the same things.
Mr. Javed, we are to blame. We don't sort of push blame to the others. But the fact remains that he has been able to bring transparency in the elections of the student wing and the youth wing. Number one. Number two, he has been trying. The Congress party is a party with so much of past history. It takes time for the pro-changers to convince the status quo.
Digvijay ji, I mean, he's been in politics for 10 years. His mother is the Congress president. He's the vice president. What is preventing him? If he can't do it in a situation like this, then who else will do it? What's preventing him?
Javed bhai, first of all, he became a general secretary only 3 years back. And he's been a vice president for a year now. And he has tried to sort of bring some systems in the organization. And the third point which I was trying to make was the Antony Committee report, which came out 4 or 5 years back, had said that the candidates should be selected at least 6 months in advance. And that unfortunately hasn't happened as yet, although we have been trying. Because of the inherent, I would say, the status quoist attitude of our Congress people.
If this were a routine election, some of the factors that you've cited would have been important, but this is unprecedented anger against the Congress party. In Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Delhi, this is not just the routine electoral issue. the perception amongst the people is that your top leadership live behind their iron fortress walls and they're completely disconnected with people on the ground. This is a manifestation of people's anger, sir. Is the Congress understanding that anger and that message or not?
We have faced this anger in 1977. We have faced this anger in 1989, and for which we paid for. We faced this anger post Babri Masjid demolition. Yet we had the resilience to revive our party. So this is nothing new for us. We are not shying away from it. The very fact that Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi came up front yesterday on their own to accept the verdict of the people and face the challenges in future, that shows courage, and they showed it.
No, but what is the courage? That's their job. They're in charge of the party. That's the very least that they should do.
Let me ask you, how many times the BJP leadership, when they have lost, shown this courage?
Process of electing representatives be restricted only to junior level officials. Why should the Congress president or the vice president also not be elected, as was the case during Jawaharlal Nehru?
They're always.
No,
always
but where is the election? Why are they always unanimously unopposed? Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, just because the fact that they have Gandhi in their title, get to be president
Rahul,
and vice president for life?
I don't know where you were when Jiten Prashadji contested against Mrs. Sonia Gandhi.
When was the last time that happened? Why can't it happen now? Why didn't it happen 5 years ago?
Why don't you join Congress party and fight election against her?
No, I'm not interested in joining the Congress party, but surely if people felt within the Congress that they could do it, they contested against Jawaharlal Nehru, they contested against Mahatma Gandhi.
I know that, and there used to be elections, and there were elections in Tirupati in 1992 also. I would say that how can you force anyone to contest?
But that just
it has to come.
In a democracy,
it has to come.
Contest is natural.
Rahul, it has to come.
In the current atmosphere that's been built in the party, the level of sycophancy is such that no one will ever dare stand against Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi, sir.
Don't forget, the same person, Jiten Prashadji, who contested against her, was taken back by Mrs. Gandhi, taken in the working committee, and given the political secretary to Congress president job.
No, but it happened in 1992.
No.
What about now?
Later.
I'm saying, what about now, sir?
Rahul, again, I don't know where you were during when this election was held. This was in 1997, 98,
Sir,
98,
we're in 2013. What about the last several years? Let me ask you a different question.
We have had elections every 3 to 4 years.
No, why should Rahul Gandhi be elected unopposed as the vice president of the Congress party? Why should Sonia Gandhi be elected unopposed as the president of the Congress party? Why can't there be an election, sir?
There are elections, and people are free to contest. But then there should be people who should be prepared to contest. I can't ask Mr. Javed Ansari or Rahul Kamal to contest.
Isn't there something seriously wrong in the makeup of a party when no one wants to be president? When no one wants to be vice president?
In our youth congress, NSUI, there are open elections. And it's not only that. Mr. Lingdo has created an NGO of fame, which has Mr. Rao from the Election Commission. They are supervising the elections, which are totally transparent, free and fair.
But that's happening on the fringes of the Congress party.
That will happen in the main party also.
When? You say that will?
So, 2014 onwards.
2014 onwards, that's a promise.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you know that? You're just saying it?
Because it has been discussed in the party also.
So you're saying that next time someone's chosen vice president or president, Mr. Digvijay Singh, there will be an election. And they will not be elected unopposed.
Rahul, listen to me. We can't force anyone to contest. The person has to be ready to contest the post of a president or the vice president, and the nominations are taken, the forms are submitted. No form has been rejected. There are some elections where forms are like what happened in Mumbai
are you saying that the
Cricket
Congress
Association,
is a party which has leaders without ambition?
where Munde's form was rejected. This has never happened in Congress party.
Your system is such that it doesn't encourage. Let me ask you another question. You spoke at length of the Aam Aadmi. Are you not worried that the Aam Aadmi could now become an option for all those who are opposed to the BJP and given your performance recently, people would be persuaded to think that you can't pose a challenge to the BJP. So let's therefore vote for Aam Aadmi. So aren't you scared that Aam Aadmi will walk away with whatever is left of your vote bank?
Well, first of all, it is the people who matter in democracy. Okay. If the Congress party has failed to connect and convince the people who want to stop BJP, it's our problem, it's our fault, it's not their fault. So I think if supposing in the next election, whenever it's held, whenever it is held, it is a challenge for the Congress party to again revive the connect between the common man and the party, so that the confidence which has been shaken over these years and the complacency which has crept into the Congress party is kept away, and we again revive our political party at the grassroots.
So do you realize that the mood amongst your cadre is at its lowest? The mood, I mean the talk on the street is that the Congress is headed for disaster come 2014 general elections.
Well, when elections are held, one wins and one loses. In 2004, India shining, everyone thought BJP was winning. In 2009, again, all the surveys had shown that they would win. So, don't write us off immediately.
Sir, I want to come now to Rahul Gandhi. And in the front pages of national newspapers, it is now being openly discussed that Rahul Gandhi is a liability for the Congress party. I did a deep dive into numbers yesterday. Rahul's strike rate in Delhi, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh is between 10 and 12.91%. 90% of the candidates he campaigned for in areas where rallies were held, 90% of candidates lost. What does that show for the Congress building up to this big clash for 2014?
If you do a strike rate, this strike rate in Karnataka, you will have a reverse thing. The point is that it is the mood of the state poll which goes through. And what was the strike rate of Modi in Karnataka election? What was the strike rate of Modi in Assam election? What was the strike rate of Modi in Uttarakhand election? What was the strike rate of Modi in Himachal Pradesh? So this don't go by the strike rate. The strike rate depends on the mood of the state electorate.
No, but Rahul Gandhi now says we need to be more approachable, we need to communicate more. That's the most obvious thing. Why hasn't he been doing this all this while, sir?
Well, let me tell you a few things. Number one, he meets people every day, but 4 to 5 days a week. He has traveled to every state in the country. He has interacted with our cadre. He is familiarizing himself with the second and third tier cadre of the Congress party. He has been able to motivate and sort of the students and the youth in the party. Now slowly he's building up. It takes time.
So you can say what you want in his defense. The fact is he is being derided and made fun of all over the country. When he stands up to speak at a rally in Delhi, people start running away. The poor former chief minister of Delhi needs to rush to the podium and say, "Baith jao, itna dur aaye ho to Rahul Gandhi ko sun ke jao." He's the butt of ridicule on social media, and I'm not even talking about the BJP army. Most young people simply don't connect with your youth icon, sir.
Social media is something which I have been familiar with in the last 3-4 years. And I know what kind of social media.
I'm not talking about BJP supporters, I'm talking about regular middle class people.
More than 50% are fake identities. Rahul, don't overlook that. One second. I'm trying to tell you something. Yes, we want Rahul Gandhi ji to be interacting more with media, more with people of industry, more people from academics. He has to open up more.
You've been saying this to us in interviews going back several years.
No,
he doesn't listen to you.
Not
he
several
doesn't
years. Not several years. Yes. Since then, he's been touring this country. He's been to every state. He has, he has a sense of doing things in a particular way.
Which way is not working?
No,
clearly,
it will work. It's not a switch on, switch off kind of a thing. He has to familiarize himself with the political leadership at the district level, at the state level, which he has done. Now he knows people from every state by name. This takes time. In a country like of 1.2 billion people, We have more than about 300 million Congress activists. Now, those people have to be familiarized with, spoken to, understood that it takes time.
He's not a backroom person. He's a leader who wants to lead
Yes,
his party
exactly.
into the election.
A leader.
He has shown no hunger, no ambition, no desire, no fierce will. When I see Kejriwal, I say, here's a man who wants this job. When we see Modi, it seems, here's a man who's hungry and hankering for that job. He wants to get the job done. And people can decide whether they like Modi or they like Kejriwal. With Rahul, we see zero ambition, zero drive.
He has the drive, but he is not power hungry, which Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Modi are. There's a difference between being ambitious for what is ambition? Ambition is good for the people, is for the good for the country. It is not for the power itself.
It's not about power.
How do you you're in politics, how do you do good to the people? Unless you're in power, how are you going to initiate? It's like this, wielding power without responsibility.
People wanted Mrs. Sonia Gandhi to become the Prime Minister of this country. She said, I'm not hankering for power. I want good of the people. And she chose Dr. Manmohan Singh, who had an excellent reputation, a clean, fair person, as the Prime Minister of this country. And
but
we were
obviously
re-elected.
this dual center apart didn't work, sir.
We were re-elected in 2009 on the basis of a decision taken in 2004. So let's give credit to her on that. And let's give credit to the Prime Minister also. Now we have come to a stage where we are looking for a new leadership. And it will come. Her statement yesterday was quite categorical that we will be announcing our Prime Minister candidate soon.
Before the elections or after the elections?
Well, that is a question of electing, of announcing after the election, because it has to be earlier than that. Primarily, I am against that because we are a parliamentary democracy. There's a shadow Prime Minister from the opposition. There is never a shadow Prime Minister from the ruling party. But still, we would be looking at, and probably it will be discussed in the party, and she will take a decision.
So let me get this right. Yeah. So you're saying essentially that before the general elections of 2014,
you'll have a new prime ministerial candidate. Is that what you're saying?
No, this is what is reflecting in her statement yesterime. I've never had a
discussion. And will we have this same experiment repeat itself, that somebody else will be the Congress president, you'll have another person as prime minister, or now that you're saying that Rahul is not in it for power, so Rahul will be on the outside wielding power, and whoever is your prime ministerial candidate will be constantly, like Manmohan Singh, looking over his shoulder. Is that the experiment?
Dr. Manmohan Singh has been given a free hand to run the government, and I can say this from close quarters that Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has never interfered in the functioning of the government as people may try to understand.
No.
But I frankly feel that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has to be hands-on. He has to be more hands-on. You know my views, Rahul, that I have been telling this to my leader, that he has to be more hands-on, and earlier the better.
You've been saying it, everyone's been saying it, he's not doing it, raising questions about whether he's a viable long-term politician, whether he even has it in him to be a politician. So those questions will, and at some point in time, must be asked.
Well, long-term runners always run the first lap slowly. They pick up later.
Either that, or they simply don't have the will and the aptitude.
Sir, they don't take 10 years to run one lap. No?
You see,
look at that.
Politics is not a 100-meter sprint. It is a marathon. One second. And you have to sort of acclimatize yourself with this country, with the character of each state, each region, and then formulate your own vision.
You're putting a good construct to it, but let me tell you, leave alone the media. Even people in your party don't buy what you're saying. This thing about Rahul Gandhi.
The biggest vote of no confidence comes from within the Congress party.
Let me have.
Now you'll say name these leaders. No, you've said this earlier. But the reality, Mr. Digvijay Singh, you'll be laughed out of power. That's the way it's going.
We are not hankering for power. At least I am not hankering for power.
That's the other thing which was doing the rounds on social media. Rahul Gandhi says power is poison. Maybe Congress party has had so much poison that they now need to be out of power to cleanse itself.
You can't sort of. Accuse me for that, because I've been out of power 10 years.
No, but does the Congress realize that there is a disconnect between Rahul Gandhi and the people of India? What are you going to do to try and bridge that gap?
You see, it is not Rahul Gandhi, it is the Congress party which has to have a connect. Mr. Rahul Gandhi cannot go around the whole country connecting himself. He has to have an organization which does it for him. And this is what he is building.
As a leader, he needs to inspire first his own troops, then people around him, and he needs to get others to talk about.
Needs to engage. More importantly, needs to engage.
Yes, you are absolutely right. A leader has to inspire. A leader has to engage. The leader has to know his forces, his cadre, and that is exactly what he is doing.
Okay, Mr. Digvijay Singh, for joining us on this special interview, for laying out your thoughts. You're admitting what needs to be admitted. Let's see if now the Congress is able to walk this talk. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.